What is up, Fantasyland? Friday morning live draft on the FFPC. Happy 4th to all my friends south of the border. Thought we'd jump into an early one today. Wasn't able to draft yesterday. Did have my daughter. Spent the day with my daughter, which is nice. Markets closed at noon yesterday, so I'd take her to an appointment, and then we hung out the rest of the day, which was awesome. So we're back in the office today for a little draft Rooney this morning. Little 100K Superflex, $577,000 in prize money. Superflex tight end premium, 20 rounds, best ball draft. If you're new to the channel, I'm JD, the Draft Room Baller. And we're here on the regular drafting these best ball tournaments, redraft tournaments. MyFFPC.com if you're not already on the site. Might have to make an adjustment here, get the promo up. In the show description, you guys will find the promo code DRBALLER, DRBALLER. What is up, Peanut Punch? What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Gotta get you back on for a draft soon. Do a live draft together. So hit me up in the DMs, man. Next couple weeks, let's book that. Let's get you in. It's been too long. So we get the 9 spot. I did one of these last night. Forget where I was last night. I'll check that out. We're gonna talk Superflex, roster hacks, just things I'm finding you can do in the... All right, let's see what we got here. We're going to start it off with a CD Lamb, some CD Lamb action. I'm doing a slow one right now where I have the 3 spot. Started with the little JD action. Let's go look at that one. When JD, Brian Thomas, Jonathan Taylor came back with CJ Stroud, Terry McLaurin to stack with JD, and then I stacked Joe Mixon in the 6th round with Stroud. Mixon, not a guy I've been drafting a lot of just for the obvious reasons, but I still think there's a good chance that he's at a value right now with the Chubb addition, him walking around in a boot. All right, let me see if I can... All right, let's adjust this a bit. There we go. Just gonna get the promo code up on the screen for you guys. You get $25 off your first draft, which gets you in to this draft for $10. So, all right, what are we doing here? Let's double tap receiver here. I haven't started one of these Superflex, I don't think, yet, with some yellow. I've done some with Trey McBride. Let's see what we can do with this one. Get this set up for you guys so you can see the board proper. So we're in the 9 spot. Usually the front end, those top 3 spots are usually taking quarterback. Then you'll see like a Jamar Chase, Bijan, as you can see here. Hurts and Burrow go off the board. I got Hurts pretty late last night. That's what I wanted to do, is look at my build last night. So I was in the 8 spot and ended up with Jalen Hurts. Thought that was a nice value. Came back with Trey McBride. And then Kyler Murray for the Arizona stack. Went T. Higgins, McLaurin, Tet, Worthy. And then just smashed green with a couple purple for a good 9 rounds. So I'll be talking about things, like I said, you guys let me know what you think in the comments as we go through it. If you're watching live, appreciate you. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're dropping 2, 3, sometimes 4 live drafts a week. We've got the GOAT District High Stakes Fantasy Football Show is back. Tuesday nights. Most of them are Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. We've got some just because the guests, we couldn't line up the guests properly. Not properly, but on that exact night. So, for example, we've got Scott Connor coming up this Tuesday night, 9 p.m. And then the week of the 14th of July, on the Friday at 1 p.m., we've got Andrew Cooper, friend of the show, friend of the channel, has been on a few times. Definitely likes talking tight ends. So we've got him joining Dan and myself. And then the week of the 28th of July, we've got a doubleheader on the Monday and Tuesday night with Abib, the back-to-back champ, and then Mike Shopes, voice of the Bills. You know him from ADP, Chasing, the crew over there. So we're lining up some big guests for you guys, some big drafters, some high-stakes guys, some of your favorite analysts, guys that we respect in the game. Get them on, pick their brain, and help you guys become better drafters. That's what we do on this channel. So nothing too crazy so far. Tournaments are 20 rounds. The Superflex tight end preem gives it a mishmash of builds. There's so many different ways you can go with these builds. Cheers. Black Americano in the house. Had a feeling I was going to get sniped there, which is no problem. We move on. Mike Shopes in the house. What's up, brother? Appreciate you joining, man. Are we on the clock yet? Oh, we're soon. We're up in 4 picks. Mike and I are doing a BBT 125 buy-in. The donk's not liking the music. Is it because it's loud? Or you just don't like the live music at all? I'm just trying to have some fun, man. Let me know. I want to hear what you guys think. You want something a little more mellow? You want it light, lower volume? Peanut Punch likes it. So, huge run of quarterbacks here. I almost skipped a quarterback in this spot, but I definitely like Purdy scheduled and the 49ers. You see I've got the George Kittle shirt on today. So we're in the 4th round here, just looking at ADP on Fantasy Mojo. All right, man. There you go. It's down a bit for you. The donk is finding it a little loud. Ooh. Ooh. Of course they have the same buy. Got excited with one quarterback that's on the board here, but let's see if we care that much. We'll make it work. We are going to make it work. Yeah, I'm gonna add Drake May to this build. I know they've got the same. No, man. Listen, Donk. I appreciate the feedback, man. One thing. If you guys watch me, this audio tech side is always a balancing act. If I move my speaker a bit. Let me know if that's better. All right, cool. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the feedback. I want the feedback. If you're watching this later on, you want to criticize, you don't like something, you like something, you want something more of something, just let me know in the comments, man. I want all the feedback. This show's for you guys at the end of the day. I could be drafting this, chilling. No camera, no stream, but I love doing these drafts. I want to help you guys out with your drafts. We can help each other, so I appreciate your feedback, man. Yeah, the 3-4, yeah, that's a great point, man. This range of quarterbacks, like I was hoping, obviously Prescott comes back to me with the Lamb start. But like I said, Purdy, 49ers, their team I've been drafting a lot. They've got a very favorable schedule this year. Caleb is there. He was an option for me. If I wasn't wearing this shirt, not going to lie, I was probably going to take Caleb there. But then I was like, you know what? I got the Niners shirt on, so I might as well get that going. Herbert, they had some weapons there. Maybe they lean on him a bit more this year in the passing game. Goff is there. Maybe overachieved last year. We'll see this year if he can keep that pace up. JJ McCarthy is one of my favorite sleepers, but Drake May is a guy that I just can't seem to get enough of. Like, I love drafting him, but for some reason he'll either go not too early, but he'll go before I get a chance to grab him. So when I saw him there, I was going to go Stroud just for the bye weeks. But you know what? It's best ball. We'll make it work. I'm basically looking for a third quarterback that can help me in that 14th week. So instead of looking at, my week 17 action, I'm pulling up the week 14 right now. Nice. I'm going to make this... I just realized I'm still in... You guys are not seeing anything that I'm posting here. But you know what? While I've got that the way it is, let me just change... text so you guys can actually read it, which is interesting because it looks huge here. Let's see. That is really, really weird. All right. Hopefully you guys can read the comments at the top of the screen there. It's trying to make the lettering bigger, but when you're producing your own thing while you're live and drafting, Yeah, that's a very good point on May, the donk. That's the thing, man. He's got the rushing upside. We saw nice spurts last year in a very bare offense in New England. They add weapons. They bring in Diggs. I know he's coming off an injury, and he's obviously a little older, but even the experience he brings to the team. They bring in Kyle Williams. They added Henderson, Trevion. That'll help Drake to the passing games. Hunter Henry's still there. So another offense that I like adding. I probably should have, quote unquote, added Stroud there instead of May just because of the bye week. It doesn't force me into that third quarterback. That's one of my hacks that I want to talk about today is I find maybe sometimes people force that third quarterback when it's unnecessary, especially if you're taking too early, like that 3 spot. That's kind of like a build I did last night with Jane Daniels and Kyler Murray. Once you have your 2 studs, you don't necessarily need to just chase that third quarterback position. I ended up taking, with my last pick of the draft, because I had Stroud and Jane Daniels, I took, what was it? Rattler. Do I draft Rattler often? No. Don't have a lot of Rattler. Oh, speaking of not chasing a third quarterback, this helps me in a few ways. So as much as I'm saying don't chase your third quarterback, especially if you double pump QBs like in your first 3 picks, I like this ad a lot. So I did wait 3 rounds to get my first quarterback, and I did double tap with May, but I really like Stafford. I'm not just chasing the position to fill in some guy that's going to give me like 12 to 15 points a week. I really like Stafford in this offense this year. They've added Devontae Adams, obviously, and it plays into my Puka Nacua. So if I can stack one of my top picks, especially one of my top receivers or my top tight end in those first 3-4 rounds, especially in a Superflex, I'm going to do it. And this solves my week 14 problem. I have no idea who Stafford's playing that week. I don't really care, to be honest. So they're at the Cardinals. That's fine. Divisional matchup inside December 7th in Arizona. I like it. All right, let's see what we can do around this thing now. All right. We're going to start building the New England side of this stack with Drake May. Trevion Henderson comes in with that pass catching ability. He should be getting a ton of targets this week. We actually had John Lobb this Tuesday night. Make sure you check that show out. He is a college rookie specialist. Him and Matt Hicks are 2 guys that I religiously every offseason go to first when I'm wanting to learn more about these rookies. We brought him in, Dan Williamson, the overhyped sleeper, and myself on this last episode, this week's episode of the GOAT District, and we talked about rookies that'll help you in 2025. So if you're doing redraft tournaments, these big money tournaments, if you're doing best ball tournaments, best ball drafts, rookies that'll help you this year. We did a mock draft. Make sure you go check that out. 8 rounds, 3 of us, so 24 players. And we discussed all of them. We didn't agree on all of them, but that's the beauty of these shows. We get to chop it up and get the input of a lot of guys, or of 3 different guys. You guys know Dan's one of the sharpest in the game, and so is John. So make sure you check that show out. But Trevion Henderson's a guy I know Dan's big on. I know John's big on. As am I. My most drafted rookie going into the draft was Henderson before the landing spot. But I think that's a perfect piece for them to add for Drake May. We saw him lean on Hunter Henry last year. Yeah, and that's a good point by the dunk. You can reach a little bit. Or if a position falls to you, like Stafford, like I was just saying, you know, I'm not necessarily forcing into a third quarterback. I just want to fill in my week 14. But when they fall to you, those are the nicest builds. Those are the nicest ones where you're not forcing the position. You're not chasing and putting in, you know, like right now, I mean, you're still getting a pretty solid QB3, but last night's draft, I don't know if these guys normally go there. Let me see. Shook, Dart, and Richardson. Let's check the mojo. Yeah, so these guys were going 2-3 rounds early in the draft I was doing last night. Like Dart went in round 10, and he usually goes in round 13. So I'm not a big fan of forcing that third quarterback. I would rather you take your 2 studs early, or your 2, you know, main quarterback starts, and then just smash the other positions. Remember, it's super flex. It's not two quarterback. So that super flex spot, you still need a quarterback that's going to outscore your other players. So if you're able to get a stud receiver, a stud running back, instead of forcing that third quarterback, I think that's a way better strategy in this tournament. I know last year when I final tabled it, trying to remember who my third quarterback, I should pull that up and keep it on. I'll try to pull that up to see how I did that, but it was something similar. I didn't force the third quarterback, kind of fell to me. All right. Let me just see what we have here, stack-wise, build-wise. Sutton's a guy that I really like his value. If you look at all the guys getting drafted around him, like Pickens, Devontae Smith, Worthy, Jameson Williams, you know, guys like that are guys that are not necessarily the wide receiver one in their offense. I mean, maybe that changes this season in some of those cases, but I'm just looking, you know, historically. Whereas Courtland Sutton, even Tet, I like Tet. I took Tet. I've taken Tet like the last 2 or 3 drafts, which is why I deviated here. But Sutton, Tet, DJ Moore, these are guys that should be the first target in their offenses, especially at the receiving position. So if I can get, and let's face it, Sutton in an ascending offense with Bo Nix, Sean Payton, the mind behind that offense. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm actually going to keep smashing receiver here. I like to lock up 4 or 5 stud receivers. Right now, I'm pretty happy with this receiving core. I'm not really forced to take a receiver or quarterback the rest of the way here, which allows me a lot of freedom at the other positions that I can focus on. So like last night, I went T. Higgins, Terry McLaurin, Tet, and then Worthy from round 4 to 7 after starting with Jalen Hurts, Trey McBride, and Kyler Murray. And then I just smashed running backs for 9 rounds with a couple tight ends mixed in. So again, it's all about balancing your roster, whatever positions you go heavy on early, you don't necessarily need to add that depth too often later on. Pick off some values if they're falling, pick off some stack pieces that work with your build. You know, if you're doing that week 17 correlation, all that kind of stuff. Fill in the bye weeks. But the way I've got this build now, I can just smash green and purple for a while other teams are still looking for their receivers. Couple teams with only 2 receivers so far. One spot double taps with the tight ends there. I like both those tight ends. Those are 2 tight ends I really like, Njoku and Kraft. And he's obviously got Love to stack with Kraft in that one. Pretty nice build actually in the one spot. Not mad at that. He's got James Cook, Josh Allen. Ridley's another one that goes in this range that I like drafting. And if I didn't have already 3 solid, wide receiver ones, he would have been a good option for me coming back. It was him or Jameson, and I just have more Ridley than Jameson right now. Jameson's another guy that usually goes earlier than I anticipate or that I get the chance to take. So I like him as a wide receiver 4 in my build. Let me know what you think so far, guys. Drop a comment, drop a chat. Appreciate you. The Donk, Peanut Punch in the house. We got Mike Shopes. What am I, round 9 here? So we are gonna add one more. I had a feeling that was gonna happen right after I talked about it, but I can't resist. Just make sure here. So I'm actually gonna add, actually I could come back the other way and do that. Do we risk it for the biscuit? Stick to the plan. We're gonna take Juwan Jennings here, get that Purdy stack going. Now I'm really solid at receiver, which is nice. I'm always more comfortable when I'm heavy yellow early in the early rounds, especially the first 10 rounds. So now remembering that we have a rookie running back as our anchor, we'll have to build around that. So Tyler Warren goes off, Shook goes off in the 10th. He's been pretty consistently in that round now. Jamie's in the house. What's up, Jamie? Appreciate you joining, man, as always. The Donk was taking over your sound engineering position. It's helping me with the volume. So I realized it's probably because I had the speaker too close to the mic, which I'm sure there's a better way for me to run music actually through my hardware, and it'll probably sound better for you guys, but right now that's where we're at. All right. So, check out my options here. Ooh. another guy I don't have too much of. Doesn't really play into my doesn't really play into any of my stacks or anything. Let me just make sure here. I'm actually going to switch it up here. All right, I go with Tyrone Tracy. I'm higher on Tyrone Tracy than I think most. The other option, I'll wait till he's off the board, where I was leaning. But when I'm looking at what I need in my build, this is like, you know, it's not like 0-0 RB, but it's pretty 0 RB. It's like an anchor RB light, I guess you could call it, because my anchor is not really a stud yet. But Tyrone Tracy's a guy I think that still has command of that backfield. Scatterboo can come in and compliment him. I don't think he comes in and just takes over that role. I feel like people are down on Tracy. Maybe it's because he's in that offense with the Giants, but he's a guy I've been drafting a bit more lately. And I feel like I could tell a story here where he is getting 60-70% of the volume in that backfield versus the other guy I was looking at. And that's kind of why I lean Tracy here. Again, you're telling a story with these builds. You guys hear me say that all the time. So your story has to kind of fit, right? So Tracy, to me, from day one is probably starting for the Giants. Let's go look at his production from last year. Let me know what you guys are up to today. If you're in the US celebrating 4th of July. So as a rookie last year, 192 attempts, 839 rushing yards, 4.4 yards per carry, 38 receptions. Like, that's pretty legit. Does Scatterboo come in and take some of those receptions? Maybe. Six touchdowns. I'm going to go look at the game log. If I remember correctly, yeah, he had 4 games over 100 yards. Went 150 against Pittsburgh, 130 against Seattle. So he showed some nice flashes as a rookie. You got to think the quarterback position this year's improved. So yeah, Tracy's a guy like above probably where he normally goes. Let's put it this way. The other guy I was considering is not even gone yet. Not even off the board yet. So that tells me, you know, like sometimes you're contemplating guys and then the other guy goes the next pick and you're like, should I have taken that guy? But if this guy makes it back to me, I mean, I'll be pretty happy and surprised at the same time. This guy was probably hoping Etienne would fall to him. Now he's stuck. He's totally making me sweat, Peanut. He is making me sweat. He sniped me on the DAC. Ooh, Jono. Jono seems like a bit of a desperate pick there. I don't know if I like that. Ooh, might do something a little different than I thought actually here. Let me just see something here, ADP wise. Where does this guy go? All right, I am gonna go with my first. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he autoed. I'm actually gonna take Loveland here. Snipe the guy next to me. Jalen Warren's the guy I was considering there. I do like the situation now that I feel like what they did with the tight ends helps him. But there's another running back I really like that I'm hoping makes it back. Or is it? Well, there's a few guys I have lined up here. We'll see if he makes it, or if they make it back. There's what, 3 picks, 2 picks? Yeah, so I'll at least get one of them here. Can this guy come back? Let's see. Ooh, that'll be tight. Oh, actually, there's 2 ways I can go here. Wow, I didn't see that. Let's see here. So this guy goes, they both go in this range, okay. So I'm actually going to, there's 2 guys I'm contemplating here. They both fit my build. One guy might make it back, probably doesn't. But let's solidify the tight end position here. We'll grab Hunter Henry. He's kind of my fallback. You guys know that. Especially if I have Drake May. Young quarterbacks leaning on their tight ends. I love that story. Hunter Henry was what, tight end 15, I think the last couple of years, points per game. So I'm getting him, you know, in the 12th round, kind of, I mean, he goes in this range, but I like solidifying the tight end I know is going to most likely be on the field week 1, whereas Loveland, I don't necessarily know that. It's similar to what I did with Tracy and Trevion. So now I've balanced out my anchors at those positions. Now I can just smash depth at both, is the way I kind of look at this. Plus the other guy that I wanted to draft, or was thinking of drafting, I have huge bags of, so I'm not that mad if he doesn't make it back to me. But we'll see. We'll see. You never know. Maybe we start a little tight end run. We'll see. Hunter Henry's just that nice. I don't want to say floor play because I don't like that approach in a tournament, because I do, like, he does put up good points for a tight end, but he's more like a stability pick. Jamie, I see your comment, but I'm not going to put it up yet for obvious reasons, but I'm all over that, dude. him and one other guy at that position that I wanted to put something out actually yesterday. And like I said, I was with my daughter all day, so didn't really get a chance. But there's two guys going in that range that I really, really like at that position right now. So I'll put out something, either a short, YouTube Shorts or TikTok or something, talking about that in the next few days. But so look out for that. If you're on TikTok at all, look up Draft Room Baller. I was posting every day, but that was really time consuming, more than I thought it would be. So I try to post as often as I can. And then obviously you get the YouTube Shorts if you're subscribed to the channel. So I'll drop some tips on there, players I like. I started doing a Monday morning kind of weekly preview of what's coming up on the channel. Did my first one this week. Yeah, I agree, Jamie. For sure. Especially with what people expect in that offense. The picks are definitely getting slower here. I've got some guys lined up. See who makes it back. This range I love. Like the players that are available in this range are beauties. So round 13, got 12 picks in. Let me know what you think so far. I'll read off the roster after this turn. Haha, are you in here? Are you in here, Peanut Punch? Did I not see that? You are in the 3 spot. Man, I totally missed that, brother. Nice. I know you know who it is. We'll see if this guy who's been sniping me. Oh man, I'm so excited for Isaac Guerrero to fall to me here, because I was going to take him in my last pick, and there's nothing better than passing on a guy thinking thinking he might make it back to you, and he does. So yes, Peanut Punch, you are correct. Isaac Guerrero, who I love and fits so nicely in my stack right now with Purdy and Juwan Jennings. He's just a solid pick, man, in these, early double-digit rounds. He looked so good as a rookie. Exactly, stacked up. All right, let's see what's going to come around the turn here. Actually, I just realized something. Sometimes, without even realizing, you're stacking. But if I look at my week 17 action here, that's right. There you go. Yeah, it was Jamie, right? So 2 things. I took Loveland. I've got Roshan now. So Chicago, San Fran play week 17. Totally slipped my mind. So that worked out beautifully. And you brought it up, Jamie, with regards to Roshan. Jamie says Roshan was top 10 in fantasy points per opportunity, but yet faced #1 most defenders in the box. He would be a beast given more carries. I don't want to talk about him until he's off the board, and I was hoping he'd fall to me. I love grabbing Roshan Johnson, man. I think Swift is also pretty good value right now, considering he's, quote unquote, the RB1 in an ascending offense in Chicago. But people forget Roshan, man. Roshan as a rookie, they pull his, you already talked about his points per opportunity. But see, again, even with my running back situation, you just can't panic, man. There's no reason to panic at any position. For me, as long as you're like in a super flex, as long as you got your quarterbacks, whether it's 2 or 3 or 4, depending on what you're doing, and you've got your receivers early, it gives you the freedom. And I mean, I'm super happy with Henderson, Tracy, Garendo, and Roshan so far as my running back room. So Roshan, excuse me, that was Roshan's second year. I don't know what I was thinking as a rookie. The years are just flying by. But he gave you 6 touchdowns last year, 55 carries for 150 yards. But if you go to the actual game logs, they were using him around the red zone. He even got a couple touchdowns in one game here. Just looking at his, yeah, you're right. There it is. Average defenders in the box. Number 1 in the league, 6.8. So good call by Jamie there with that stat. Let me go look at that. Yeah, look at that. His first week, 7 targets as a rookie, 7 targets, 6 receptions, 55 total yards, and a touchdown. RB8. Two carries in the red zone. And that's the thing, right? Like if he, for whatever reason, ends up winning over that starting role, or is even splitting carries with Swift, he's pretty legit, man. He's getting action in the red zone pretty often, like 2 to 4 carries a game last year. For a few games anyways, so 2, 4, 6 games he got between 2 and 4 carries in the red zone. So again, we expect this offense to be ascending. You miss on those early guys. You miss on Swift. Roshan's a great piece, man, for those 0 RB, anchor RB builds. All right, let's get our queue ready for this next one. A lot of nice options here, actually. I was hoping Jarquez might fall to us, but I didn't really expect him to. Obviously, we've got Stafford and Puka. Let's see where this guy goes. So again, if you're not on fantasymojo.com, you get all your ADP on there, FFPC. There's a bunch of stats on there, a bunch of data that he pulls from the FFPC site. You can check your stacks to see how unique your build is in these big tournaments. All right, so maybe we get him on the way back. I'm going to go Nick Chubb here in that offense. Again, uncertainty with Mixon. Yeah, Peanut Punch says the Stack Finder, that's what it's called at Mojo. Just for that, it's worth the price of admission, man, to get your sub. So I get sniped on Terrence Ferguson here. He's actually going in round 17, according to Mojo. So this guy reached. Maybe I should have reached there since I have the Stafford stack, but I just figured he'd make it back to me. So that's a miss on my part, but also not the end of the world. I mean, ADP matters less and less as you go down the draft board. I just figured like 3 rounds. I'll take him a round early. But it's all good, man. It's all good. I'm going to take this guy a little early because I think he's awesome. Let me just check my bye weeks for my receivers here. 2, 4, 5. Perfect. So I'm going to take Demario Douglas. Again, building that Drake May, Henderson, Henry, and now Douglas stack. I think the offense can literally run through those 4 guys. So I like that, weaving the New England stack. Skipping my brain right now who they're playing. Oh, they play the Jets. Yeah, Mason Taylor was another one I was hoping would fall to me at this last, the Nick Chubb pick. The Nick Chubb is really like, I was drafting him when he was going kind of in the last couple rounds, earlier in the offseason, thinking he's going to sign somewhere. He's obviously shot up ADP-wise, and I haven't really drafted him since. So I think with my build, I don't hate it. I could tell a story where Mixon maybe comes in and he's not 100% healthy. They did bring Chubb in, whether it's goal line action or if he just looks really good and, you know, splits carries with them, or obviously, you know, knock on wood, injury-wise. So I think Chubb does have still upside, even though it's round 15. But I do like him better than some of these other options going around. Jarquez was definitely my target. The other guy I was talking about when I was talking about Roshan is Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen's a guy I really like. They call him, I heard yesterday, War Machine is what they're calling him in New York. And as much as I love Breece Hall, and I've been drafting him, especially in the 3rd, 4th round, I do think this team's going to run the ball a lot, the Jets. So that should bode well for a guy like Allen coming in his 2nd year with his size. Let's look at Peanut Punch's team here. He's definitely a guy I respect in the draft rooms. So Jane Daniels, Kyler Murray combo, and then Jackson Dart in the 11th. I like that for his quarterback room. A-Chain, Kyron, Kamara, Stevenson, Braylon Allen. Love that. Just always a well-built structure. And then T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Judy, Debo, Shaheed. Very nice build. I think the biggest, I don't want to say hack, but tip when it comes to these Superflex builds is because it's tight end premium, it's Superflex, there's 20 rounds, there's no need to panic really at any position. That's really what, you know, the key takeaway, especially your, like I said, your QB3 position. Don't chase it, don't force it. And even tight end, don't force it, because a lot of these stackable tight ends, as you can see on the board right now, you can get after the 10th round. So if you don't get that early tight end, you know, the McBride, stack up at other positions, stack your receivers, and then you can still get your stackable tight end later on, just based on how deep the position is this year. It really allows you to do that in the draft rooms in these Superflex builds. And your other, you know, even the 1 QBs, but especially in the Superflex tournament, because they get pushed down, right? All right, so I missed on Terrence Ferguson. The nice thing is, he is a young rookie coming in. Tyler Higbee's still there. And as much as they brought in Ferguson, you know, McShay's talking about helping Stafford out. Higbee's kind of like that Cole Kmet now, right? In LA with the Rams. So again, don't panic. As my third tight end in the 17th round in tight end premium, I'm not mad at that at all. All right, Dave Turp. So July 22nd, guys. Dave Turpoili and myself, you know him from the FFPC high stakes show, where they watch live drafts, comment on them, bring in guests. So Turp's actually going to jump on with me on July 22nd, which is a Tuesday evenings, and we're going to draft a BBT together. That should be a fun one. Another high stakes player. All right, let's see what we come back around here. Kind of getting off track. All right, so what are we at? 3 tight ends, 4, 6, or they have that new thing now at the top. That's something I like actually that they added. So 3, 5, 6, and 3. So we've got 3 picks left. I don't have any of this guy. I'm gonna add, it's gross. It's really gross. But I kind of want to, oh no, we're going with this one. Yeah, we're going with this one. So I'm gonna add Blake Corum. I have quite a bit of Blake Corum. As much as I love Jarquez, I think that at his price, what the upside you can get from Corum, he comes in with my Stafford pick. I want to see if this guy takes the other guy I was going to take, because I was going to try to snipe him. With the running back, I don't think I have any of. Wow, he didn't even take him. Okay. So Miles Sanders in Dallas is not a guy I've been drafting. I thought for sure this guy with his, he did take blue, so that's probably why he goes Taj Brooks there. I like the Brooks pick better for him. Oh, he's got Burrow. Okay, that makes sense. I forgot I thought he just had Prescott and Stroud, the guy next to me. So pretty good build actually from the 8 spot. I really like his build. Burrow, Prescott, Stroud, and then he goes Nico, Terry, Pickens, Ridley, Addison, Mixon, Scattaboo, Spears, Blue, Chipley, Hill, Brooks. Yeah, it's a really nice build. His tight ends, Jonnu. I don't love the Jonnu, but I think as Peanut Punch pointed out, that was an auto pick for him. I think he got stumped because I think he was expecting Etienne to fall to him there. And then he's got Kyle Williams. Or no, that's the guy next to him. Dalton Schultz, I mean, I don't love, but if you have CJ Stroud in a tight end preems, Superflex, I don't hate it at all as your tight end 3. And he's got Gesicki. He's got a really nice build. I mean, apart from that auto pick with Jonnu, it's a really nice build. And I say it all the time, guys. It's middle of July. It's beginning of July. Beginning of or middle of the summer. So you're not going to find too many weak drafters in these draft rooms right now. Mostly guys that are going to do volume. Degenerates like myself and Peanut Punch who are in the draft rooms these days. So it's hard to find a really bad build. But that one I like a lot. So for our build so far from the 9 spot, CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, Cortland Sutton, Jamison Williams, Juwan Jennings, Demario Douglas at receiver. We got Purdy, May, and Stafford at quarterback. Trevion Henderson, Tyrone Tracy, Isaac Guerrero, Roshan Johnson, Nick Chubb, and Blake Corum as our running backs, and then Loveland, Henry, and Higbee as the tight ends. So Peanut Punch adds Wilson and one of my favorite rookie running backs this year, DJ Giddens, to his build. I like that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the support, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in on a Friday, July 4th. Hope you guys are having fun. Hope you have a nice long weekend. Markets are closed today, which makes it a little less exciting for me because I'm in the stock market pretty much every day, especially open and close. But we had a long weekend last week up here in Canada. July 1st was Canada Day, as you guys know. So it's that time of year, man. It's a little slower in the fantasy streets, but never slow in the draft rooms. All right, what can we find here? So we are, I believe, at 3663. That is correct. So pretty happy with my backfield. De'Ami Brown's a guy I have trouble not clicking on in this range. I just feel like, yes, Hunter's there now, but with a mind like Liam Cohen there, De'Ami Brown's pretty much the third, quote unquote, in the depth chart, we think, but he could also be the 2B in that offense. And I think he might get more targets than people are maybe anticipating. So in the 19th round, to get the upside that Brown offers, so Woody Marks, if he had come back, it would have been a decision for me because I could have kind of locked up the RB2 in Houston. I don't like handcuffing, especially in these tournaments, but if I'm getting two guys super late like that in a really good offense, especially with a guy that's frail in Joe Mixon, I'll do it. I think that's sound strategy. Because let's face it, a lot of these guys in your last 5 picks are not even going to pay or be part of your lineups. I know when I looked at my team last year, that final tabled this tournament, you know what, I'm going to try to pull it up after this, but there weren't too many guys in that back end. I'm going to take Atwell here. We've got the Rams stack with Stafford. Let me see if I can pull up that draft board. I wanted to look at my QB2, QB3 situation, and then kind of the back end of that draft. Let me know what you think of the build, guys. I'll read it off for you once more once I pull this up. If you have any hacks or tips that you're finding in these Superflex tournaments, drop them in the comments. It's always appreciated. Man, they don't make it easy to find old... is it this one? Let's see. It's not that one. I'm gonna have to go through each one of my entries to see which one. Oh, here it is. There we go. I found it. All right. Let's see what this team is like. Can I pull up my draft board? That would be great. Dirty. Can't even look at the draft board. All right. Oh, yeah, here we go. So my quarterbacks were Lamar, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May. This was one of my Barkley teams. Barkley, Aaron Jones, Najee. AJ Brown, Godwin got injured, still JSN, Xavier Worthy, guys that popped. So did Bateman. He was the guy drafted pretty late. And then Mark Andrews, Pat Freiermuth, and Tucker Kraft were my... But then I've got guys like Dontavian Wicks that didn't necessarily do much. Josh Palmer, I don't think he did much. I think he had a couple weeks where he did all right, but considering he didn't have much competition there. Troy Franklin. Madison, I think, gave us some weeks, but nothing crazy. Justice Hill was a nice pick for me. And then Gardner Minshew, I don't think did much last year. Let's see if he even got into my starting lineup. Yeah, he got a couple weeks, actually. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks that he would have got in, maybe, depending on how my other quarterbacks were doing. But I thought I'd be able to pull up my actual draft board. I'm gonna actually reach out to the FFPC. I feel like that's something we should be able to access. We should be able to go back and look, unless if there's something I'm missing. Peanut Punch, if you know how to get those older previous year draft boards, that's something I feel like is crucial for my game to be able to go back and look at them. All right, so from the 9th spot, we took CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua. Then we triple tapped the quarterback position: Brock Purdy, Drake May, Matthew Stafford. Trevion Henderson with the anchor stud rookie upside play, stacked him with May. And then receivers: Sutton, Jamison Williams, Juwan Jennings, Tyrone Tracy, my RB2, Loveland and Hunter Henry, double tap at tight end. Garendo, Roshan Johnson, Nick Chubb, triple tap the running back position. Demario Douglas plays into my New England stack. Tyler Higbee as my tight end 3 with my New England stack. Blake Corum plays into my Ram stack. And then De'Ami Brown with Tutu Atwell as my last stackable receiver, my last pick of the draft. Peanut Punch did another sweet job with his build. We read off his build earlier. And then the other guy next to me, the number 8 spot, was another one. I really liked his build. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys tune in this Tuesday for another episode of the GOAT District. Scott Connor is coming on. Probably talk some Dynasty with him. I mean, we talk all formats, but he's definitely a Dynasty guru when it comes to high stakes. Appreciate you guys joining today. Make sure you use the code DRBALLER, DRBALLER, at myffpc.com. If you're not already registered on the site, you'll get $25 off your first team, which gives you basically an entry into this tournament for $10. So pretty good deal. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe, smash that like button. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll check you all